Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Boxing Bonanza. I'm joined by two BKB fighters this time in Dan Chapman and Barrie Jones. How are you, boys?
What's happening, son? Right, buddy?
Right.
Good, boy. How's training been for you both?
It's, it's been tough because obviously me and Barrie, we do try and stay in the gym as much as we can, but the fight of me and Sean George got announced a while back, and I've had two camps back to back, and both of them have been cancelled. But it doesn't make a difference to me. I'm always in the gym anyway, so it's just like when you use your sponsors' money, because when you have sponsorship, that gets you through some of the camp with food, with traveling and stuff. And on the last camp, I think I spent about £1,000, and then it got cancelled. So that's the negative side of it. But at the end of the day, now they're doing a lockdown show, so they can't really cancel it. So it's got to happen.
Yeah. So how are you, Bar? Is it all training going well?
Yeah, it's going well. Only recently I got back in the gym. Like Daniel, I was training for a fight in September. Then I got cancelled, obviously. Then, to be honest, I didn't stay in the gym a lot. I was going to get in touch with him, actually, for sparring, but I hadn't been in the gym. And so I thought, I'll go and sparring when I'm out of shape.
Yeah.
So only last couple of weeks, I just got back into the gym, really. So just started back training now, tidy.
Good.
Good stuff. So March the 27th is a massive event for both of you. I'll start with you, Dan. Can you tell us a little bit about the event and your opponent?
Yeah, well, the new date is March the 27th, and I'm going to be fighting Sean George for the world title. And the respect is there for Sean, he's had 18 BKB fights. He has a massive following in BKB. I've only had 2 BKB fights, and I'm already fighting for a world title. So it just shows really where they done a prize fight a while back, and since then the standard in BKB has changed massively. And Barry's got involved since then. Who was a top pro who fought the best in the pro game. So the levels have just gone through the roof, and I think, like you said, when you see the likes of people like Barrie coming into BKB and myself with such a big amateur background, and Barrie with a pro background, I think everybody's up their game and their training and their lifestyle, because when you come up against top operators like this, you can't take camps lightly, you can't take fights lightly, because you get knocked out.
Yeah, the level is definitely rising from when it first started. So, on to your fight. Can you tell us much about your opponent? And it's the second weight for the British title.
Yeah, Paul Hilz. I'm fighting. I think he's had 5 fights, won 4, knocked them all. I think he's won them all by KO as well. So he's a tough guy. I'm fighting a lot heavier than I usually fight as well. I'm fighting stone heavier than when I normally fight that. So that's gonna be another challenge again. So it's gonna be a tough fight, but it's for the British title again, yeah. Also, but I was supposed to be fighting for a world title in September against Edgar Queta, but that obviously got cancelled. So I need to be out fighting regular to keep me in the gym. That's right.
So, like you said, boys, you both had the dates cancelled in the past. How frustrating has it been to keep training and having dates cancelled and then having to start again?
Yeah, first, champ.
Yeah, to be honest, I came over sparring with you tonight for September. As soon as I got cancelled, I just couldn't. I stopped training basically. I was drinking. It's a fight hard to keep motivated and get me in the gym, to be honest with you. So, and they were closed as well, the gyms were, so I didn't need any more excuses. I was doing a bit of running and the odd bit of training, but nothing ready for a fight.
So, Dan, I think you've got your own gym. How's the training been for you?
Like you said on the last camp, me me and Barry just dropped each other a text and said, I said, look, but if I can handle Barry and BKB, I can handle fucking anyone. I thought it's just and I've known Barry years. I've known his brother. Me and Chris have travelled the world together. Chris Jones' brother. So me and Barry have always had good respect for each other, and we arranged some sparring, and sparring was brutal. So even though we're good mates, like I thought, no, we both, hit each other with some good. I had lumps on my head for weeks after sparring with Barry. But the respect was there. We had some good rounds, and I know his old man as well. His old man loves boxing. It's been his life since I was a kid. And I used to look up to like Barry and that when he was a pro, and it's great to see that we both now on the shows together. And he's just like, Barry's a top lad, and I when you build a relationship with another fighter and you can just drop each other a message to get some sparring on at any time, that's the way it should be. That, like, I've been texting, other pro gyms and other fighters, and I got to go through the agents and stuff. Like, it's ridiculous, but camp has been difficult because obviously the gym has been closed. For me, it's my business. My gym has been closed since March. Just nearly a year out now. Well, it's a year out. And when we had the date for the new show, and to be fair, like, my gym has been closed, and obviously camp has to start then for me, So I've been back in the gym. I've been doing a lot of running before then, because obviously the gym has been shut. But I arranged a little bubble in my gym. Only two of the lads that would come over every Wednesday and Sunday to do some sparring with me, and they both on furlough. I asked them, we didn't just plan this out of the blue and just wing it. I said to them, are you mixing with other people? And they go, no, Dan, I'm not seeing my grandparents. We're working from home, and we can come and help you for this camp. But then on one Wednesday, I had like 4 riot vans, 15 coppers outside the gym. They're going to burst on my 2 grand door, and basically find all the boys and then find me £1,000. So the world's gone crazy, honestly. And I just think, if I was opening the gym, right, for, financial benefits. I know I'm not supposed to do that, but me and Barry, we've got a professional contract with BKB, so we're allowed to train. But I didn't want to be traveling to other pro gyms, because even though you've got a pro gym, doesn't mean this COVID is not in there.
Spot on.
After the second lockdown, I had COVID. I was bad for 17 days. Like, I was really ill. And I just thought, if I have COVID on this camp, that's my camp over. Like, so, I formed a little bubble. It didn't work because I got, they fined me a massive fine. I went to Welsh Assembly and everything. And I just gutted. I've appealed it. But, moving forward now, to be fair, like I said, I got a great relationship with Tony Borg in Newport. So I've been going up there, doing some rounds with the boys up there every Sunday,
Yeah, man. So, like, obviously, you spoke very highly of Barry then. Barry, you've had a great amateur and professional career in boxing. How hard was it to leave boxing? Was it always BKB a fresh start?
To be honest, I lost interest in boxing, to be honest with you. It's quite hard to train anymore. I just couldn't get motivated anymore, like, so I just finished, really. Then obviously this came about. I fancied another go, so that's how it happened. Like, I knew it. I'd signed the contract, but within a couple of days, didn't realise they were done, really, to be honest with you. So like Daniel said, like, the sparring, I've been trying to get in contact with boys for sparring, and only Daniel said yes for it, really. Like, and to be honest, I didn't really want to spar him anyway, because at the time, because he wasn't like the guy I was supposed to be fighting, but you've got to take any kind of sparring to have, and he's class, like, as well. So, I had a few black eyes as well.
Yeah, man. And Dan, I probably haven't got enough battery on my laptop to list your amateur achievements. I believe it was an accident that stopped you turning over, if I'm correct. How are you enjoying the big stage now on the BKB?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it was. I accepted after my accident. Like, the doctor said I'd walk with a limp forever. Like, So
Yes.
when the doctor says, you know, go and play darts, you know, you think, it's like it's time to start a family and move on. And I was always realistic. I was never a dreamer. Like if the doctor told me that, I accepted it. It was hard to take. I'm not going to lie. Like, you know, it was really tough. And being so close to the Olympic Games in 2012, and then having your whole career ripped away from you, you know, it was tough to chew. You know, and like you said, when I got myself back on track then and back fighting, I mean, I got obsessed with it again. I'll be honest with you, because I did. I lost the love of boxing like Barrie, you know. Where, you know, when you've been and done it all, I from an amateur especially, you know, I've travelled to every country on the planet for amateur boxing and fought the Cubans, the Russians. There's nothing I haven't seen, you know.
Yeah.
So I lost love out of it after that accident. You know, I fell away from the sport, but like all of a sudden, you know, BKB come knocking on the door, and like you said, I just fell back in love with it. I'm obsessed with it again. I love teaching it. I love doing it, and especially on the big stage, it was hard because when I got into BKB first, everyone was bigger than me. Like I'm only a small guy, and on the prize fighter, I'm naturally 60 kilos, like,
Yeah.
you know, and on the prize fighter tournament, they were 76 to 81.
Yeah,
But I knew I could beat these boys, but you know, there's a big risk in height and reach. And I fought James Kennelly, and you know, I dropped him twice, and he's massive compared to me. Like you know, he's bigger than Barrie, and you know, Barrie's a big lad. So you know, I realised then, I thought, you know, what's it going to be like when I fight someone closer to my weight? You know, that's when I realised then, you know, I personally believe I knew I could win a world title in this then. And here it is. It's my chance, you know, to show my skills.
What's the weight difference now in this world title fight?
Well, it's not the weight that I should be fighting at. It's 69 kilos. So that's the closest I'm going to get, you know, to fighting someone smaller. And people don't know, like, you know, in boxing, like, weight is a huge advantage, you know. But, you know, I've got the speed, I've got the skill, the wisdom, and the ring craft. So it doesn't matter how big you are or how strong you are. You can't hit what you can't see, like.
Yeah, man. So, like, for neither of you, this was really in the script. No. I can't imagine that you neither of you expected to be here now. How did you? I'll start with you, Dan. How did you first turn over to BKB? How did you sign the contract?
When I signed the contract, what it was, they asked me if I went up to watch a show, and I seen, like, one of my mates, like, said, you know, said to the promoter Jim, I didn't know Jim at the time. And this guy said, my mate said, oh, I got a talented Welsh fighter from Wales. He'll fight the new show. And all of a sudden, I was matched. And the first fight I had, I think I put him away in 40 seconds with a jab. So I heard his nose snap. And I was like, oh, at that point, do I ever think you're going to love it or hate it? And I fell in love with it. And I thought, this is savage. And I remember then, like, I'm good friends with Glenn McCordy. I've known him for years. And he said, Dan, you know, this sport, you can do really well in it because it is all about hit and not get hit. And that's, like, I've always been taught that anyway, you know. And but, you know, and then, like, you got, with me knowing Barrie from years ago, Barrie was a brilliant southpaw, you know. He was a boxer, you know, he'd show his skills, he had the reach, you know, he had a lovely left hand. I wish he used it more as a pro. But when he come into BKB, he's just unleashed a different total fighter. He's just gone through them all. Yeah. And I was thinking, I hope he's not my weight. I was like, if anyone's going to beat me in BKB, the only guy who can beat me is this guy. And I'll be honest with him. You know, I know I can beat Sweeney. I know I can beat James. And I seen little dents in Franco's armour at that weight, you know. But when I looked at Barrie, I just thought, I can't see anything stopping him right now. And I think, remember, they even asked me and Barrie to fight at one point, and I think the fight didn't happen just because, like you said, Barrie, you weren't in camp, was it? You were just on the bend and probably on the beer. And to be fair, I was going to take the fight, and we probably would have fought, like, but I am just glad he's in an heavier weight now.
What about you, Bal? How did you manage to sign over onto BKB?
I think I seen someone fighting. I think it was Harry Miles, maybe. I seen him fighting on Facebook. Got in touch with him. I don't know why. I don't know why, to be honest with you. Like, but He gave me a couple of names. Got in touch with this other guy, Owen, and he basically set up for me. And before I know it, I was fighting. I signed the contract. So like I said, it was all, it was a couple of days I'd signed the contract. I didn't realize what I was doing, to be honest with you, what I was getting in for. But yeah, I'm glad I done it. It's given me like Dana said, I fell out of love of boxing a bit. So it's given me a new something to look forward to now. Fighting again.
Apart from the obvious catching the knuckles on the face instead of the gloves, was there any major differences that you noticed when you went in the ring from boxing?
No, not really. It's all pretty similar, it's pretty similar,
What about you, Dan?
Yeah, do you know the difference is, right? The reason why I think me and Barrie are enjoying BKB is because the pro game is vital. It is, the promoters win suit, the setup was terrible. They call you out to the blue and go, you need to fight in 2 days, or and Barry's been through all that, even at the highest level. Is as a pro, you'd be lucky to have an 8-week fighting camp, and BKB, the setup that they're doing, it is absolutely phenomenal. I'm not just saying it. I've been to loads of pro shows and fought the high, amateur shows, and they've got everything right. The setup, they look after the fighters. They let you know, you got 12 weeks before you fight. You got a 12-week camp.
Yeah.
Ask Barrie. I don't think Barrie might have ever had a 12-week camp as a pro. He would have stayed fit and then stepped in. That's how bad the pro game is. So that's one thing which is great. Is Barry's got time to prep his training. I've got time to prep our training. And when we fight, like you said, Barry, it's not much difference, but I think because me and Barrie have been in the ring and done it so many times, it's just second nature now. And you've got many other fighters on BKB. They come from different backgrounds. Most of them are MMA backgrounds or whatever. But you do need to do well in BKB. You do need a solid boxing background. And I think we'll see the difference in that as well. Going forward, I think Franco's fighting Sweeney. And fair play to Franco, he upset Sweeney and got the win over the cut. So, it is really a great battle there between someone who's come from not a boxing background. Sweeney has come from a boxing background, but it's just the discipline that Franco brings compared to Sweeney,
What about the initial start of the BKB on your hands?
Yeah, that is savage, I'll be honest with you. I don't know how Barrie feels about it, but after my second BKB fight, I couldn't pick a mug up for 4 months.
It's tough.
My hands were pieces after fights.
Oh yeah.
I haven't been punched in the face yet, so.
I know you've knocked them all out. That's why, pal.
Yeah, the poke in the eye, that hurt.
Yeah, I think you was caught in the eye as well, Dad. I think you've had a cut.
Yeah, do you know what? After that cut, the cut didn't stop me going on in the tournament. I had a really nasty shoulder injury. I done it 6 months ago, got it better, then a week before the fight, it gone. But I sold so many tickets, I couldn't pull out. I knew I could still win.
Yeah.
I knew James didn't know I had an injury, so that's why there was the advantage.
Yeah.
But like you said, I don't know how Barrie feels about it as well, is, you've got some of these boys in the BKB, they train without gloves on. And that just shows to me that they're not punchers, because me and Barrie I don't know if Barrie would agree with me, but my hands are bandaged to the max, taped.
Yeah.
I got 16-ounce gloves on. When you know how to punch a bag and spar properly, you cannot spar with small gloves.
Yeah.
And they it's in a bag of gloves, toughens your hands up. That's a load of shit. My hands have got to be good going in there, otherwise it's going to affect my performance.
What about you, Bad? You protect your hands when you're training?
Oh yeah. I got 14 and 16-ounce gloves on. I got cushions, wraps for my hands. No way I would do a bare knuckle. No way. I wouldn't be fighting.
But then when you're training I must make you feel even sharper than when you've got no gloves on.
Yeah, it feels a bit strange, to be honest. So sorry. you know, when you're in there and you haven't got gloves on at first, it felt a bit weird, like, but, you know, it's, you get used to it, like, you know, I suppose. Some people even ask me, do I spar bare knuckle?
No, I'm not that.
Oh, God.
If I had a nose like that, people ask me as well.
About 100 fights, man.
Is he talking to me again, back?
I think so,
I
but
haven't got missing touch, I have.
Yeah, with that being said, it's obviously it's going to be a tough sport on your body and your hands, your face, everything. Have you both got a kind of exit plan for the game? Are you going to win the world title and then leave it, or do you carry on wanting to fight in the game?
It's a good question, Alice, to be honest. So I haven't really thought, like, I think me and Barrie are quite down to earth and humble, even though we're good at our sport. We don't think ahead. We'll fight anybody who's in front of us. We're not saying we're going to do this, we're going to do that. We do our talking in the ring like we always do. And I just feel like it's just when you win this world title, we just see what opportunity comes ahead of me, you know. And Barrie, same, I feel gutted for Barrie because he's had that British title for ages now. He deserves a world title shot. And like we said, that's when it opens up, you know, sponsorship and people getting behind you. And I feel like when you've got that support behind you, then fighting becomes so much easier.
Yeah. What about you, Bar?
yeah, you know, well, to be honest, I set out like to win a world title, really. That was my goal, but obviously I got to get my next fight out the way first. You know, it's a tough fight, isn't it? But you know, to say that you've won a world title is a great achievement, and then go from there. You know, because I'm 36 next month, like, so I haven't got too long left. Like, do you know what I mean? You know, so I know I don't look that old as a general, like, you know. I feel good anyway in the gym and all that. Like, even though I'm not always in the gym, like, but I don't feel like old, like, do you mean? So
yeah, and that's a main important part, really.
Yeah, you know.
And like you said, I think, like with Barrie, I think, like, you know, in the pro game, we don't get a lot of credit for the hours and the years and the time you spent in the game.
Yeah.
And it's just nice to see someone like Barrie, you know, he's fought like people like Kell Brook and that, like,
yeah.
It's mental, you know, and it's sad to see that he's 36 now, and now he's getting the credit. And I feel like, you know what, he deserves that credit 100% because, you know, it's nice to see him finishing on a high in a career, something that he's enjoying. And like you said, that's why he fell out of the love of boxing before, because like you said, if you don't enjoy it, you fall out of love with it. And like, he's enjoying it. He's got no pressure. He don't have to prove anything to anybody. He's doing this because he wants to do it. And like you said, you know, how cool is that? Like, you know, imagine that saying, what did he win as a world title and world bare knuckle champion? Like, how many people say that, can they, you know?
And I'll go on back.
Yeah, to be honest, like, a lot of my fights from like to pro, like, I just didn't want. I'm not making excuses. I just didn't want to be in there. Like, that was a big fight. And like, for people to say that, you look like a different fighter than the BKB and all that. But that's how I used to fight years ago. Like, and then I kind of like, I was happy just to take a money off a time. Like, and do you know what I mean? I fought Kell Brook at, like, I was only 10 days notice anyway. Not saying I would have won the fight, but 10 days is not a long time to. I was always in the gym, but 10 days is not a long time to fight for a British title, is it? You know, against something like that. I fought Liam Smith on the Thursday. They phoned me up on the Thursday trying to fight him on a Saturday. I hadn't been in the gym, and I was like, no, I said, no, I'm not. To be honest, I didn't want to box anymore. And then they said, I'll give you, I think, $5,000 or whatever. I said, yeah, go on. I said, go on. I'm not going to box anymore. So
Nothing else to do.
You know, I'm not saying I would have won the fight, beat the one. I'm like, but I think if I'd had 8 weeks and I really wanted to go in and win the fight, I'd have a good goal. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I mean,
it looks like I'm making excuses.
I just feel like you've come in your element a bit because you're actually having an 8 to 12 week camp now, and you didn't have that before. And I think, like you said, if you did have those camps back in the day, I think 100% you had a massive chance of beating these guys, or, you know, or making history in British history, of great British fights. But it's sad the way the pro game was years ago. Like you said, they'd phone you on a Thursday, doing a step in for $5,000, and it's like,
Yeah.
Shocking.
Yeah, it's like what I was going to say now. Sorry. Yeah, you know, it was a few fights. Like they phoned me up. Like I fought Solomon and Barrie. Like that was at 2 weeks' notice as well. And I went in there, and he's ex-world champion, and I battered him as well, really. And I lost that fight. I don't know how I lost it, like, but I mean, it's like a lot of my losses. Like, to be honest, I stopped caring if I didn't win or lose like anymore. Then, I mean, so once you lose that edge, and a bit like.
What do you think it was that initially made you lose that edge, Bar?
I think once you like. Junior like undefeated, maybe, and you know, you set out everybody wants to win titles and all that, and then you've lost 1 or 2 fights. It's like kind of like I don't know, it's, you know, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing it for anymore. Like, it was just for the money, and that's what it was for, really. So,
yeah.
You know, shame, like it, but you know.
Yeah, so shame for both of you. Like Dan, like you said, you had the accident, and you just accepted the fact, really, that you wasn't going to box again. That must have been very hard, like.
Yeah, it was, because, you know, from being on Team GB, training 4 times a day, every day for the last 4 or 5 years, you know, and then all of a sudden, then, you know, I went on to beat JRS 15-0, I think it was, in the seniors, and then went on to beat Sean George, who's the current Commonwealth champion of that weight. And then a week before the World Championships to qualify for the Olympic Games, you know, a freak accident happened, and then just ends everything that I've ever known. And like, I've come from a real poor background. So when I was a young kid, I was in and out of foster care. You know, it's a long old story, but I didn't have the greatness of upbringing. So I was able to channel all that negative and bad, all those bad things that happened to me from a young age, and then just put into boxing where I was, you know, really positive and give, like, when you come to be a good amateur or turning, like, getting ready to turn pro, you always see the ones who are very talented and the ones who've got hard work.
Yeah.
You very rarely see 2 of them together, and I 100% believe I had the 2 together. I had the talent, I had the hard work, and when you put that together, you just know you can't not do well in a sport then, you know. And it's just like, I'm not going to be one of those boys, you know, in a pub in 10 years' time, you know, and said, oh, I won a Welsh Fest when I was 9. You know, I played, you know, what to do. I played for Swansea City when I was 11.
Yeah.
I played tennis, you know, but it just never happened, you know. So something for me now is, obviously, my energy is channeled into my business, my gym. I love teaching boxing to the kids and the adults. But, you know, this is something that's personal to me, you know, because I couldn't win a world title in the pros. This is my chance to win a world title in BKB. And to be fair, you know, the people respect it because how savage the sport is.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's really good that I can, you know, channel my energy to that, you know, something positive, like.
And the thing is with BKB, like what we started talking at the start about, now there's people from all kind of life and sports coming into BKB who've got the fighting background, who mixed martial artists, boxers, everything. So the challenges are always going to be there if you want them and want to continue in the sport.
It is, because this is what people want to see. They want to see blood and guts, you know. It's bare knuckle on its own. So when you've got, you know, ex-UFC fighters coming over, ex-pros signing over to BKB, you know, we've even had the likes, I think, like Frankie Gavin on the edge of signing over. Was, you know, unbelievable amateur. And I remember training with Frankie on Team GB, and, you know, it's attracting big names now. And where they go in BKB, the sport is growing to a massive foundation, you know.
Yeah.
So, like, we're getting more publicity now than we've ever had.
Yeah, that's great. Because, like, obviously, I think this March 27th show in the London O2 Arena, it's going to be showed over 50 countries, if I read that right.
Yeah, it's on the Fight TV app, and that's you know, it's a big company, Fight TV. But, you know, I think, obviously, Jim and Joe have worked hard, obviously, to get the foundation what it is, you know, and look where the level at now. We've got ex-pros, top amateurs, top UFC, top MMA fighters signing over, and you just look at the card on March the 27th, and it speaks for itself. Like, you know, it's a quality card.
like, you've obviously been on the massive stage before, but is this one of your big opportunities again to show what you're about?
Yeah, like I said, it's been shown in 50 countries, like, so, a lot of people can be watching. It's a good bill as well. There's a lot of good fights on it, like, so it's got to win, win in style. So
Yeah,
it's
man.
fun. So,
It's
clear going.
because both of you, obviously, you had a huge following in both amateur and professional. Do you get loads of ticket sales when everything's normal?
I do like the tickets. Like, it's a long way, mine as well, or, so sometimes it's a nightmare when you got to organise a bus and all that as well, and it's like, it's hard work, like, when you don't know yourself. So sometimes when somebody else does it for me, it takes a lot of pressure off you. It's quite frustrating, like, I don't know about Daniel, like, so.
What about you, Dan?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really lucky because I got my own gym. I'm dealing with my community all the time. I do a lot of work with the kids. I teach boxing to adults. I work with special needs, and in my area, I do classes for free for my gang. I call them. They're awesome. So to be fair, the community does. They do really get behind me. And leading up to this fight, because the way things are at the minute, like, I think it's things are a dark time right now, and so when I released the fight, I didn't think I was going to get the love and support as it would be on a normal day to day when things were normal. But to be fair, everyone's got behind me. I got some, everyone's asking for the code for when it's for the pay-per-view. So it does, those little things go a long way to help us, boost our money up when we fight. And like you said, me and Barrie are back in love with the sport. But at the end of the day, we still do it for the coin, like,
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Putting your life on the line at the end of the day. When you're in combat sport, it's money is what it's got to be about.
Yeah, and like, when I break my hands, if I break my hands, that means I can't do the training in the gym on the pads. That's my own business getting affected. Or if I break my jaw, that's me having an operation. That's me out for a few months. So, I don't think me and Barrie think about those things. We sort of just get in and do it, but they are the risks, they are.
Fighting men. Before I wrap it up, boys, is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, my sponsors, I'd like to give a shout out to HGR Carpentry and Pure Destiny, French Bulldogs, James Price. Thanks. That's it.
Dan?
Yeah, to be fair, I'm really lucky. I got so many sponsors. I can't remember them all. They've been great. On my last camp, they were fantastic. Like, even though I work really hard in my gym, I couldn't do this training without my sponsorship. Like, they get behind me. I got sponsorships even down from 50 quid. I got ones who sponsor me in this camp up to £500. I got ones in. DNA, lean, they supply me with all these supplements from a brand from Birmingham, absolutely top bloke Paul, and even down to my coach Adrian, who he does all my tickets for me. He organises the sparring, and without him and all my kit, they're the things that I don't like doing, and it wouldn't happen if it weren't for him. So all those little things behind the scenes what people do, I always appreciate it with. I appreciate it so much, and like you said, going forward, they're going to be all on my t-shirts going into the ring. I'll mention on my social media, Pammy, and then after the fight, when I bring our world title up.
Yeah, fantastic.
Same with me, my mate, Mark, he does supply me with all my supplements, lets me use his gym, when he's been closed and that, so shout out to him as well.
Brilliant, boys. Fantastic. Can't thank you enough for both joining me today, boys. It's been a pleasure. And bring them titles back home to Wales.
Can't wait, boys. I'm really excited.
No worries, boys. I shall see you soon.
Stop, man. Cheers, buddy.
Bye.
Ciao, boys.